We have lagged off. It was Chipperfield and Sutton who won the lag. It'll be Sutton to break first. Same format as we've seen all night, 2 sets. First to 4, or a race down to 0 on the clock, whichever comes first. And that, pound for pound, is the best break anyone has hit tonight.
Yeah, cue ball very close to the centre pocket though. In terms of split and power, absolutely. Control of the cue ball, not so much, but they take this split and chance every single time.
Yeah, this split is exactly what you want coming into a big final as your first frame. That isn't the first shot you want to play, though, if you're Karl Sutton. Shaun Chipperfield done him a bit dirty there.
As awkward as it could be. But he still manages to negotiate the pot. That little flick on the yellow hurts them, though. Without the flick on the yellow, they're a bit further to the left, and the next positional shot's a lot easier. Shaun looks like he may reroute. If he takes the one to the top right, he has to go through a very small gap in the yellows. So I think the reroute is probably favourite here. Quite like that. Shaun said, "I'll try and land you here," and pointed exactly where he wants to be on the table. No, he's not exactly on that spot, but he is on that line. The plan, you could hear them when they were chatting, the plan was to play now on the one to the bottom right-hand corner, the one on the cushion, drop that in, take the one into the middle, and you get out from there. So needs to hit this one nicely with top spin.
Yeah, played that well.
Will he still take the one to the bottom right? Yes.
Yeah, nice little route this. Really nicely worked out. It's always an interesting dynamic we spoke about right at the start of the match. That question of momentum. Because if Brennan and McCarthy start this match well, you feel the way that that match ended, they'll, you know, the tyres are really pumped up. They're really feeling it. They'll be very confident. For Chipperfield and Sutton, they need to start well just to stop that from happening.
Yeah, it really does make a difference.
Lovely first frame. McCarthy on the next break. Haven't touched the table yet in this final. And they're going to have to wait their turn still. Shaun Chipperfield's up on this one. And he's been left a little bit of a tricky leave. This isn't obvious immediately. But the more you look at it, Simon, the more you're looking at yellows, aren't you?
Yeah, if there's a first yellow. I'm just wondering if there is a first yellow.
Yeah.
Yeah, very difficult to find any way of getting into the yellows here. And then do you convince yourself and talk yourself into reds? Although, looking at the table, well, they have got an easy red to the bottom left-hand corner, but where do you go from there? Very difficult.
Shaun Chipperfield is naturally very aggressive. If it's there, he'll go for it. Right middle is a big problem for him.
Yeah, and he can pot the one nearest the middle pocket now, but I think he's a little bit worried about getting a double kiss on the red and the red staying where it is. Well, the red has come out, but he's not on the next ball.
That's what they're playing for. 2 of them, 1 for each player. It would take pride of place on anybody's mantelpiece.
Shaun's going to have to come up with a safety shot of some sort here. I don't think he's on anything. You can see a couple of edges of reds, that's it. Can he brush off one and try and get the cue onto the bottom right-hand corner of the table? Come off one cushion and try and knock that one over. That will do. He'll take that from where he was.
Yeah, from that position, it's a really well-executed shot. He'll be frustrated that he was in that position, though, for sure.
Always felt odds against a finish there on reds, though, it has to be said. So it's one of those, if you got no yellow, you have to take on reds, then give it a go, but hasn't thrown the frame away from it.
Yeah, and at least he's got the scenario now where if he comes back to the table and Ronan leaves him a reds, the reds are very gettable. Certainly more.
More than they were.
More
Yeah,
than they were.
You've got the couple of awkward ones, really awkward ones you've developed.
I'd be surprised if Ronan was taking this on.
I think he is. He's going to play down the right-hand side of the table, play short position, hit a beautiful gap there. He'd love to have been on the bottom one of the two, but I think he has played on the top one. Probably felt he couldn't get to the bottom one.
He's dead straight. I think he can screw back here.
Yeah, but you've got to get up to the top end of the table from here. That's almost impossible if you're going into that red. He was probably one roll too straight on it. If he was one roll down the table, higher up the table, he would have been able to get on this yellow perfectly. So can he flick the red and get the cue ball to the top of the table? He can, but he didn't pot the yellow.
Lost of turn. Feels like a big frame, this. It really does, even in this early stage of the match. And there's a long, long way to go in this one. This feels like a big frame.
Yeah, and that's not the worst leave for Ronan McCarthy. He hasn't left anything easy on. And that red's gone into an awkward position where the 8-ball's in an awkward position as well. Okay, the 8-ball does go to the middle pocket, but a long way to go to get there.
Lost of turn.
So just controls the frame, gets rid of the yellow at the bottom of the table, which opens up his reds and leaves Ronan nothing to go at.
Yeah, what can Ronan come up with here?
It's a great safety shot.
Wowee.
Very, very good.
That's an amazing safety shot from Ronan McCarthy, because not only has he left Shaun Chipperfield nothing to play, I think he's full ball snookered on every single of 4 reds spread across the table, but he's also developed all his yellows as well.
The full ball snooker's a bonus. He probably always felt like he was going to leave a shot at something in that situation, but he executed his shot perfectly. Okay, he knew he was moving those balls in the middle, but he wasn't moving them with much great pace, so he always felt like it was going to be a nice big cluster in the middle to block the easy path to the one over the pocket. Very, very clever from Ronan. Has it earned him a chance? Can he get through? Or is it just another safety, I think? Yeah,
He's cutting it back.
There was a half chance there for Ronan.
Very tough, but it will go down as a missed pot, and I think Shaun can snick this into the right centre. Yeah, comfy. This is now on for Shaun Chipperfield. Oh, that's a surprising miss, though. It really is. Has he got away with it?
Well,
He's
Shaun,
having a good old look.
Yeah, he gets straight down. Big miss, this one from Shaun.
He knew straight away as well. It's a really surprising one.
This frame is becoming massive with every chance that comes and goes. And
yeah, I said it was big about 2 minutes ago.
Well, Ronan can't get through to that one over the pocket, but can he get to it from a cushion? He can, but he can't make it. Another half chance coming up for Shaun, or probably more than a half chance. The only difference with this one, I think, when he takes this one on, I think he's going to be leaving Ronan a bit more of an open look at the ball. And he makes it.
That's much more like it. Well, a massive frame in the context of this final. And it's going to go the way of Shaun Chipperfield. There was some serious mileage in that frame. And it's Shaun Chipperfield and Karl Sutton who come away with the point on the boards. Karl hit his last break beautifully. Didn't hit that one as well, but I think he's left a really kind split. He'll take that, whatever happens.
Once again, the cue ball very close to the centre pocket.
He's hit that half ball.
Yeah, he got that one all wrong. Still gets power through it, even with a complete miss hit. They've opened up just enough. This is a good chance. This is a very good chance.
Red ball's in play.
Just has to work out his route, which way he wants to go. Not the positional shot that Karl wanted to play, just going by his reaction. He's still okay. He's on the one to the left centre, but it's not where he wanted to be.
Oh, plenty of silverware on offer in this final. And speaking of silverware, how about Matt Ward's shiny shoes? He's dressed for the occasion.
Yeah, he's definitely upped his game for the final, hasn't he? That's.
I mean, he's had to with this crowd in as well. He's tested his vocal cords too. That's a great shot from Karl.
I think he's working. I was trying to. The awkward ball to get on here is the 8 ball, even though it looks easy, because it's kind of well guarded by yellows. And I think he's working hard here to try and lead the red over the right centre pocket as his last ball. He drops it in and he's got the access to the 8 ball nice and easily. Another option would have been to leave the one he's just played as a last ball, because you could easily get on the 8 ball to the bottom left, but he's wanted to get that one out of the way earlier. Just wonder if he can. He'd love to be able to get on the one on the left-hand side next. Well, he's on it, but he's a lot further away from it than he wanted to be.
But he got quite a bit of angle on it as well.
Yeah, but he does know if he makes this shot, and it's a nice, comfortable, just a simple stun shot, natural position, that he knows if he makes it, he wins the frame. So it's all on this shot.
Yeah, good pot. Crunch that ended, Karl.
Been a fascinating visit. You've seen right from ball one, he knew exactly where he wanted to be on his last ball, and he's had to work hard to get the cue ball round to this point.
Really classy clearance. Really classy clearance. Was never ever missing that one. 3-0 to Chipperfield and Sutton. As if by magic. And we are back. 4:19 left on the watch. And Declan Brennan's first shot in the final is a dry break. And it's a good hit as well. And they may well lose this set by 4 frames to 0. And Declan Brennan has played the grand total of 0 shots in open table.
Yeah, good chance as well for it to be 4-0. These have opened up really nicely. Comfortable, nice chance here on yellows. Especially if the yellow goes to the top left past the one that's nearest the pocket. That just helps things a little bit as well. Not a big problem if it doesn't. Although they might take it into the right centre once the other one's out the way. A few different ways of going at the top end of the table and the bottom, to be honest.
Yeah, these yellows are sitting ducks now. This is all but 4-0. Struggling to see a way in which Karl Sutton and Shaun Chipperfield don't make these. And even if they don't, Ronan McCarthy and Declan Brennan have less than 2.5 minutes to try and save their skin. It just isn't going to happen.
Good shot required now from Shaun. If you take this easy pot in the centre, but he could hold the white. I thought if he took the one in the centre, the cue ball was going to run down to the bottom of the table and leave them nothing. I thought he might have to take that one long. It was a lovely shot.
Yeah, simple clearance in the end. They've taken it out really nicely. Shaun can just roll this one in. Simple position on the 8 ball. And the first set of the final is heading to the East Anglians. Shaun Chipperfield and Karl Sutton lead the final by 1-0. Declan Brennan on the break. He and Ronan McCarthy need something to happen. He has hit that one beautifully and has a split that the hit deserved. And now is this Ronan and Declan forging the comeback trail. It's as good a start as they could have wished for. Stephen Jameson, Simon Webb, still with you, as we have been all tournament long. And it would not surprise me in the slightest if this competition was to end in the most dramatic of fashions with a 6-red shootout. That's what Declan Brennan and Ronan McCarthy are hoping for. It is all they can hope for. They can no longer win this match outright, Shaun Chipperfield and Karl Sutton. If they avoid defeat in this set, via either a draw or, of course, a set victory, are taking home those 2 beautiful trophies.
Well, I've got a good chance here to start with a nice clearance from the break. That's where all the damage was done from Chipperfield and Sutton in the opening set. 3 clearances from the break from them in the 4 frames, and it started with a break clearance in the opening frame.
Yeah, they've been a bit patchy as individuals tonight, Karl Sutton and Shaun Chipperfield, but every Scotch frame tonight they have won. They are 6 for 6. Were Declan Brennan and Ronan McCarthy to take this frame down, it'd be the first time they've been defeated in a Scotch frame. And if you can win all your Scotches, you'll go a pretty long way to winning the match. Worth pointing out that with Declan Brennan and Ronan McCarthy today, they lost their first Scotch frames of the tournament.
Yeah, I was thinking that earlier on. I don't think the plan was to play the one to the top left next. I think they were probably thinking top right. Ronan's probably not quite got the cue ball where he wanted to. This is a delicate shot now from Declan. No, I judged it to perfection. Maybe one more roll would have been perfect, if I'm honest. He just screwed straight back towards the 8 ball. Now he's just pointing he can get to the cue ball to the middle of the table. So easy on the shot that Declan's just played is to either get the cue ball too far down the table or too close to the red. He judged it well. One more good shot required to win this frame.
For 1-0 in the second set. Never in doubt from Declan Brennan.
I think the nerves for all these players and the tentativeness will have completely gone now. They're all just up and running, and they're getting through the ball much better. Okay, Karl was close to potting the cue ball on a couple of his breaks, but the splits were good.
Shaun's hit that one nicely. It's the best one he's hit all night, actually, but he's been left a pretty horrible first shot here. If he wants to take reds, I think he's got a plant along the top cushion and that's it. If he wants to take yellows, he's got a tickle on the full length of the table, and that is horrible. I don't think he's got a full pocket either.
He'll be tempted if he has got a full pocket because the yellows look like they're there for him. The reds just aren't a nice clearance even if he made a big first shot, but that was brave. But now that he's missed it, he's turned the chance over to Ronan McCarthy. In fact, it's Declan Brennan, excuse me.
Yeah, Declan wasn't going to waste the opportunity to get his hand on the table early on in the second set.
Attention called.
So a great chance here for 2-0. That's why. Oh, huge mistake. Huge mistake here from
Wow.
Declan Brennan. Trying to pop the one over the pocket, flicks the other ball. Or was he? I don't know if he could see the one over the pocket. He missed the one over the pocket by a long way. Maybe he was thinking...
He's trying to play off the yellow
off
onto
the yellow
it.
onto it, yeah. I thought he could just see the one over the pocket. Maybe he couldn't. A much harder shot than it first looked.
I'm not sure Shaun can, so he's taking reds.
Red balls in play.
So the fact that Shaun couldn't go yellows has made this very interesting, because reds is not a good chance. Very intriguing frames developing here. Okay, Shaun's at the table, but it's fairly even.
Yeah, that red at the bottom of the table is horrible to land on. It goes to the right centre, it goes as well to the bottom right.
Yeah, I think he's probably thinking right centre. Leave plenty of angle on this pot now, and then track down and hit the gap between the 8 ball and the yellows, that line of 3 yellows on the left. Hit that gap, get on the red to the right centre. But if you get onto it with a low angle, it's difficult to get back onto the 8 ball.
Really difficult.
Well, he's on the red. Oh, is he?
Has he gone slightly too far? Well, I'll tell you what, that gasp in the crowd is telling me enough, and the shake in the head tells me that he is not on this red. There you go.
There you go, definitely not on it. Can see it, but can't pot it. Double, perhaps. Oh, the double was going close. Where's
And
the 8
ball's
ball?
in. Oh, wow.
Foul. Lost in break.
Wow.
That's incredible. Look, this double's close as well. It flicks the 8 ball, and then how's the 8 ball go in there?
I mean, to pot the 8 ball is ridiculous. But watch this red here. This is tracking.
Oh, it's going to be actually, when you see it from the overhead, it was just a little narrow. Change
Going
of
for the
break.
front ball break. I think that's probably what he was saying. And look how well he's hit that.
Wow.
That's one of the best breaks I've ever seen Ronan hit.
Yeah,
It's
Ronan.
always been a bit of a stick to beat him with, which is a little bit unfair, but it's all relative. Ronan's break, comparative to the rest of his game, is weak. His break generally isn't, but compared to the elite level of the rest of his game, it is. But it's not often you see him front ball break, and he hit that beautifully.
Yeah, very rare you do see him front ball break. Playing the cut break for a long time now, and you're absolutely right. The break is definitely the weakest part of his game. It's well talked about. He'll be the first to admit that's not a strength of his. He makes balls at a much lower percentage than the other top players, but what he does do is when he makes a ball off the break, he break clears at a very, very high percentage of the time. And this could be one of those.
What it also gives him as well is the cut break generally gives sort of scrappier leaves. The balls tend to stay a bit closer together and around the middle and the bottom of the table. And I mean, that's Ronan's playground, when he can just play cute little patterns, not have to move the white much. He's one of the best in the world at it. But I tell you what, I'd say right now, don't have the live odds in front of me, but I'd say we're odds on for a 6-red shootout.
Yeah, I'd say so. Finishing touches required to this frame, but Ronan's already running the clock down. 9 minutes is an eternity in this version of the game, but he still wants to use as many seconds as possible.
And he'll use the 4 on this one as well, just in case. Wry smile from Shaun Chipperfield. It's just what they did in the last set. I can't be worried about that. They know the game by now.
Yeah, it's part and parcel of the game.
I still think there's an element of it which needs a little bit of figuring out and finessing. Still very new, this sort of clock management.
Yeah, we've seen people try and waste clock way too early, and not when this is a good time to waste it, because they know they have to, you know, they want to try and protect that 3-0 lead. But we've seen it with 1-0 lead and 9 minutes to go, and that's way too early to do it, because you might need those seconds.
Yeah, it's very unlikely Brennan and McCarthy are going to need time following this clearance. Ronan punches home the 8 ball. Great break. They've been left with an opening ball. Again, I think it's tricky, you know. Got a thin cut on the yellow, maybe to the middle.
Yeah, I'm not sure there's
Don't
much
think they've got
on.
an opening reds.
Yeah, I can't see a red, I can't see a yellow.
Have a look at this table. This is awkward, and it is the thin one to the middle pocket. Shaun wanting to open up the yellows. He's not done it
Yellow balls in play.
all that successfully. There's maybe a route out, but they're up against it in this frame.
It's not terrible, though. Those 2 yellows at the top still go. This is a thin cut to the bottom left, and you can't do a huge amount with the white. Looks like if they get the cue ball to the right, near the right centre pocket, they can get the one to the top left. That gets them to the one on the top of the table. Yeah, this is a decent route out now. Could have done with a few inches off the cushion, just to be able to control the cue ball a little bit easier.
5.5 minutes left. If Karl Sutton and Shaun Chipperfield can rattle off 3 frames in that time, they only need to draw the sets to win the title. But those odds just lengthened.
Yeah, the problem they had there was because they were on the cushion, they couldn't do much more than just make the pot. And when they make the pot, if they get the potting angle there, they're flicking the other yellow. If they flick the other yellow with too much pace, the cue ball hides behind the reds and the yellow comes away from the pocket. So had to play it dead weight. Very difficult to do.
Extension call.
If they were off the cushion, he could have played it with just a little bit of screw into the reds, hold the cue ball that way.
Reds aren't that easy here. There isn't really an obvious opening one. Is he looking at the plan?
Well, if they can get to one right at the top, it helps. That's the one he's looking at. He can.
I mean, this doesn't look on. Wow. I mean, we're looking at the overheads, and that doesn't go.
Yeah, that's the thing. Maybe for future competitions, we should ask not to have the overhead in the studio.
Yeah.
Because it's difficult to tell.
It fools us more often than I think than it gives us an advantage, honestly. But these reds are all there then. This to take us to a 6-red shootout for Declan Brennan and Ronan McCarthy.
So he doesn't have a full pocket on this red to the top left, but he's going to just try and nudge out, open up the red by the left centre at the same time. Or I thought he was, but he didn't try to in the end.
Oh, that's time pressure for you, and he's got a little nudge there as well. Had actually a little bit more time than I think he realised there, Declan Brennan. I mean, we're talking half a second, but it makes all the difference. It would have made him not miss a routine pot there. Can Karl get this yellow in and knock the yellow out? Oh, he gave it a good go. But now they are massively up against it.
Well, this will be a flashy shot if this works out.
Oh, wow. Wow. Can they make this? Karl digging down. Not quite. And now Declan Brennan and Ronan McCarthy will have the chance to win it. Have another watch of this. This is remarkable.
Screwing it with reverse side to try and get into the cluster and making the double. Okay, he makes the fluke in the end, but that was some shot that Shaun Chipperfield was taking on.
He very nearly made it as he intended. It was very close on the double.
That was a great pot from Ronan because they actually had a good lead there, did Chipperfield and Sutton. That was a good pot.
The shot clock does crazy things.
Surprised that this should just be a safety shot. Cue ball to the top of the table. Yeah, they've got no reason to chase anything here. They just let the clock run down. Keep your opponent's at arm's length. 3-0's good enough. You don't need 4. Not quite got the snooker, so
Shaun will take this on all day. Threatened another fluke, but not quite got the legs. And now they can go and win it, if they want to.
Yeah, still not open, those 2 reds. Tricky plant, but it's a plant with safety. Yeah, well played.
It seems fitting at the end of a tournament like this that's given us so much drama, so many 6-red shootouts, that we're on our way to another one. By hook or by crook in the end, because Declan, Brennan and Ronan McCarthy are making a bit of a meal of this finish. A tricky shot. Just wants to get it to this side cushion, he's fine. What can Karl produce here? Cushion first. Pot. What a pot from Karl Sutton. And maybe, just maybe, Shaun Chipperfield buries it. Well, it's not over yet. 68 seconds left on the clock. It's 3-1. And this actually helps the Chipperfield-Sutton pairing. If Ronan breaks dry, the one man you'd want flying at the table is Shaun Chipperfield.
And it's not a foul break. It was a delicate, soft break, trying not to open up the balls, but enough balls go past that centre line or get pocketed. So it's exactly what Ronan wanted. And that should be that.
Shaun having a giggle, him and Declan exchange a glance. We're going to a 6-red shootout to decide the destination of the Ultimate Pool Pairs Cup. No doubt about it now. Text your mates, whack a post out on Facebook. You want to watch this?
Yeah, what a way to decide a tournament. It's not the first time we've seen it with Ultimate Pool as well.
Yep, the last Monday night event was won on a 6-red shootout. Phil Harrison sprinting around the table to get the win over Simon Fitzsimmons. We're going to have more late drama here. Last shot of the match coming up. And it's just going to be to hold the 3-1 lead. Ronan McCarthy and Declan Brennan come from behind to square the match. We end one apiece. We will settle it all with a 6-red shootout. Here we go then. It's Chipperfield on the break. Karl Sutton primed and waiting for the first shot. Decent break. White's going to move, but this is a nice split.
Yeah, they can get a good series of stop shots here. Just that one on the cushion.
Brilliant pot so far. Clean, crisp. Cue ball's going to be moving here. Can he hold it? He can. This is going to be a quick time. Shaun Chipperfield steadies himself. Needs to pot this. And does. That's all right. They'll take that. McCarthy on the break. It's a great break.
Perfect break.
Can't even remain seated. This is going to be a good time. If they can get on this next ball quickly, they can.
Big pot now.
Oh, Ronan misses. Potentially an opening for Sutton and Chipperfield. Have they the time to nail these two? Cue ball must stop. Declan Brennan to win it. Has missed. And Karl Sutton and Shaun Chipperfield are Pairs Cup champions. And just look what it means. 2 trophies for our 2 winners. Let's hear it, folks, in the arena for Karl Sutton and Shaun Chipperfield.